It is 9 a.m. on the first of the month, and your phone buzzes once against the desk. $100 sent. You do not look. You already know what it is, the way you know the sound of your own front door. $100 left your account towards something, and the not looking is the entire point. $100 is the amount too small to argue with. It is more than you would lose in a couch cushion and less than you would notice missing from a paycheck. So it lives in the narrow space where money goes to become invisible. You set it up once, on a Tuesday, between two other things you have since forgotten. Now it leaves on its own, every month, while you are doing something else. Hold that $100 in your mind. Because this is a story about the same $100 leaving on the same morning for 40 years, and about the two people it quietly decides you will become, neither of whom can see the other yet. You are 25. The buzz you just heard was an auto pay you set the night before. You opened an account, picked a fund that owns a small piece of every large company there is, and told it to take $100 on the first and ask you nothing. The screen says your balance is $100. It looks like a mistake. It looks like the float in a cash register, not the beginning of anything. There is no ceremony to it, no moment that feels like a decision, which is the strange thing about the most important financial choices. They almost never announce themselves. You close the app. The $100 is gone either way. You have only changed where it goes when it leaves. You are 26. A year has passed without your attention. The balance reads about $1,267. You put in $1,200 of that, 12 quiet withdrawals you never felt, and the market added the other $67 while you slept and worked and forgot. $67. It is not enough to mention to anyone. If you told a friend you had made $67 in a year, they would wait for the rest of the sentence. There is no rest of the sentence. But $67 is not what the year produced. What the year produced was proof that $100 can leave your life every month and nothing breaks, that the rent still clears, that the emergencies still get handled from somewhere else, the way real emergencies always do. The $67 is the smallest part of year one. The proof is the rest of it. Down the hall, there was a man who started the same year you did. Same job, near enough the same paycheck. He also has $100 a month leaving his account on the first, though he would have to think to tell you where it goes. A slightly better phone plan, a parking spot closer to the door, a second streaming service, a third, a subscription to something he meant to cancel back in March. His $100 also disappears every month, reliably, on schedule. He simply pointed it somewhere that leaves no record. You and he are running the exact same experiment with the exact same money. Only the direction is different. Nobody, including the two of you, can tell yet that it will matter. You are 30, 5 years in. The balance is around $7,800. You contributed about $6,000 of it. The rest arrives out of nothing but time. One night you do the arithmetic and realize the $1,800 of growth is built entirely out of things you did not buy. Except it is not sitting in a landfill or the back of a closet. It is in an account with your name on it, quietly owning a sliver of the whole economy. That same season, the market has a bad stretch. Prices fall for a couple of months, and every headline is written to make holding still feel like a kind of negligence. The balance dips below what you put in. You keep the $100 going out on the first anyway, because the auto pay does not read the news and has no opinion about the weather. What that buys you, without your noticing, is more shares for the same $100 while everything is marked down. You did not plan that. It is simply what happens to the person who keeps showing up after the music stops. You are 35, 10 years. The balance is about $20,700. You have fed it $12,000 across a decade, 100 at a time, and it has handed you more than $8,000 back for the crime of not interfering. Somewhere in the last couple of years, a line was crossed so quietly that no statement marked it. The account is now earning more in a year than you put into it. The $100 a month has become the smaller of the two forces building this thing. You are still adding your 100 every first of the month, the same as always. It has simply stopped being the part that matters most. Down the hall, the other man is doing fine. He has a newer car than you, a phone a generation ahead, a calendar of small comforts he genuinely enjoyed and could not itemize now if you asked him to. Over these same 10 years, his $100 a month added up to the same $12,000 yours did. He spent his on the texture of his days. You spent yours on a number you rarely look at. Neither of you is wrong. You are simply standing at the start of a fork that is already split, in two directions that will not look different for a long time. You are 40, 15 years. The market did what it has reliably done so far, which is fall and recover, and fall again, and end higher than it started. And the balance is around $41,800. Last year alone, the account grew by about $3,900 on its own, more than 3 times the $1,200 you fed it by hand. For 15 years, you were the largest force acting on this money. This is the year that stops being true. A coworker is let go that spring with nothing behind him, nothing between him and the first missed paycheck but the next one. You have a number you have never touched and do not plan to, sitting quietly behind your life. And for the first time, you understand the $100 was never only about some far-off retirement. It was always also a wall between you and the version of a bad year that ends in panic. You do not bring it up. You pick up his lunch and let the conversation move on. You are 45, 20 years. The balance is around $76,600. You have contributed $24,000 in total, 100 at a time, and the account has more than doubled it on its own. Last year, it grew by roughly $7,200 while you slept, 6 times what you added by hand. The thing has begun working a second job you never assigned it and do not pay it for. You go to a wedding that summer, and the talk at the table is the usual ledger of who upgraded what: a watch, a lease, a kitchen. You drive the same paid-off car you have had for years, the one that owes you nothing. The man from down the hall is there. He still has the newer phone. He asks, half joking, whether that little app of yours ever amounted to anything. You tell him you stuck with it. He does not ask the follow-up, and you do not offer it. The $100 was never loud. It is the one thing in the room that is never once needed to be. You are 50, 25 years. The balance is around $134,000. You have put in $30,000 across a quarter of a century. Last year, the account grew by roughly $12,600 entirely on its own, more than 10 times the $1,200 you contributed. You have become almost beside the point to your own wealth. The $100 still leaves on the first, out of habit now more than necessity. But the account would keep climbing for years if you stopped feeding it tomorrow. You read the headlines differently at this age. The ones about how most people your age have almost nothing put away. How the math no longer works for ordinary earners. You are an ordinary earner. You made an ordinary salary, paid ordinary rent, sat in the same traffic as everyone in those headlines. The only thing you did differently was refuse to spend $100 a month, quietly, for 25 years, and aim it at the plainest fund in existence. You are 55, 30 years. The balance is around $228,000. You have contributed $36,000 in total, in amounts small enough to lose between the cushions. The other $192,000 was never yours to earn. It belonged to time, and all you ever did was give time enough room to do the work. This is the year the arithmetic flips for good. The account now grows more in a single strong year from nothing but its own size than you could add by hand if you tripled your contributions. You are fully a passenger now. The thing you built is larger than the building of it ever was, and it no longer needs you for anything except your absence. You are 65, 40 years from the morning your phone first buzzed on the first of the month. The balance is about $637,000. The breakdown is the whole story, and it fits inside 3 numbers. Of that figure, the amount you actually contributed, $100 a month, every month for 4 decades, is $48,000. The other $589,000 is growth. Money you never earned, never worked an hour for, never felt leave, and never watched arrive. For every single dollar you put in, the year stacked roughly 12 more on top of it. You did not get lucky. You did not pick a winner. You did not time a single thing. You declined to spend $100 a month 480 times in a row and let the smallest serious amount of money there is sit in the plainest place you could find for the most time you had. That is the entire mechanism. There is no faster version of it being sold anywhere because the slowness was never a flaw in the plan. The slowness was the price, paid in a currency that takes 40 years to clear, and almost no one is willing to hold it that long. The man from down the hall retires the same year you do. Same job the whole way, same salary, a decent man who never missed a shift. Over 40 years, his $100 a month also added up to $48,000, the exact same money down to the dollar. He spent his on a parking spot and a better phone and 100 small comforts he enjoyed in the moment and cannot point to now. You and he stood at the same fork at 25, holding the same $100 habit on the same first of every month for 40 years. He retires with a lifetime of small pleasures and a pension. You retire with most of those same pleasures too, and also a number sitting behind your life like a silent partner you forgot you ever signed. There was never a single day the two of you split apart. There was only the same small answer, given again every month, until the answers stopped being choices and quietly became 2 different lives. Somewhere right now, it is 9 a.m. on the first of the month, and a phone is buzzing once against a desk. $100 is leaving an account towards something, and the person it belongs to is not looking, because $100 is not worth looking at. They are not doing anything wrong. $100 is nothing. That is the whole sleight of it. The amount too small to defend is the amount almost no one defends, which is the only reason it ever decides anything at all. You were never going to feel the $100 leave either way. You only ever got to choose what it was quietly turning you into while you were busy with something that felt more important. If you want to keep watching the math the rest of us were never shown, the quiet arithmetic running underneath the lives around you, subscribe before you go. This channel does not deal in motivation. It deals in what ordinary money does inside the right structure across enough time. And the math will always say more here than any advice could.